Hey, what's up? It's Noli Area. Doing a reaction video. Yeah, this is my first time doing this, but I had to do it. If you've watched any of my other videos on this channel, they're either in one of two categories. They're either performances from my students when I was a middle school teacher for 6 years, or performances of pieces that I've written. So yeah, this is my first reaction video. I don't know if I'll ever do one again, but I had to do it for this video. I just I have so many thoughts. As many of you have probably seen this wonderful performance, or you were there. Um, yeah, just absolutely incredible. I have a lot of thoughts that I kind of just want to get into. Um, this was the Bridge Over Troubled Water performance and I apologize if I'm saying this group's name wrong. I believe it's pronounced Bellarmonía. It's a treble group from Miami, Florida. They performed at ACDA conference in Dallas in March, and needless to say, left a lasting impact on everyone that was at that performance. You'll hear me say this quite a bit throughout this video. I can only imagine what it was like to be in that audience listening to that performance. If you haven't already, please go ahead. I have it right up here. Please go ahead and listen to this a few times before watching this video, because I'm going to pause quite a bit because I have a lot to say. But man, it was unreal. And, before I keep rambling, let's just go ahead and start with the video. And again, I'm going to pause quite a bit.
When you're weary, feeling small, and tears are...
Yeah, again, this is terrible for it to be called a reaction video because I'm not genuinely reacting to it. I've listened to this 100 times, but every time I listen to it, it's as if I'm listening to it for the first time. I don't know if some of you feel that way, but I mean, just absolutely incredible. So again, please watch the whole performance before you watch this video. All right, so go ahead and do that. After you've done that, welcome back. As you can tell, there's going to be 3 soloists. So there's only 24 students in this, which makes it that much more impressive. What truly blows me away as I listen to it, number one, is the emotional connection, right? I could spend an hour talking about all the technical things that are great with this, and trust me, we'll get to a little bit of it. But a lot of music for me is how it makes you feel, right? How it makes others feel. Those members in the audience, they're going to remember how they felt. Yes, they'll remember the crazy high and low notes, but it's how the music and performance makes you feel. And what's very obvious from this performance is the emotional connection, not only from the director, but from every single student, and also especially the soloist as well. I've heard many times from choral directors that would stand in front of us in class and say, don't be a boring choir, right? You've had performances when a group sings and they sound great, but their faces are just dead. You get the opposite of that with this group. Every single one of them is pouring their hearts out and singing, and that's what makes this really, really powerful. So yeah, I'll go back. And again, I'm going to pause quite a bit, but I want you to, if you didn't notice that early on, really pay attention to that because it's really, really powerful.
Your eyes, I will dry them all.
Okay, so, and again, I'm pausing for the reaction video, obviously, so apologies if that annoys you. I absolutely hate when there's clapping, when there's noise in the middle of a performance. It is a huge pet peeve of mine, okay? Having said that, I completely understand for this performance. I don't begrudge the audience at all. When I was first listening to it, I was kind of getting annoyed, but then very quickly I was like, okay, I get it. The soloist comes in really, really well. I love how um, she's kind of, you'll hear her in a second. She really kind of is going to lean into her chest voice and open up, but she keeps it in a nice, a light place that's still full. The runs, the runs are just insane from all three. But I love when the soloist comes in, you'll hear how the choir kind of just sneaks in um, as if they're not even there. I mean, it's just flawless.
Feeling small.
Excellent. Now listen for the choir.
And tears are
Just the way they came there.
your eyes. I will dry them all. I am by your side.
Here she goes. The way she just leaned into that, into the chest voice, and just let the runs just flow. Oh my goodness. Look at the audience reaction. Look at the audience when she goes. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah. Ooh.
And friends just can't be found like a bridge over troubled water. I will.
Again, I promise you, this is not my first time listening to it, but I've said it and I'll keep saying it. Every time I listen to this, it's like I'm listening to it for the first time. And again, I'm speechless again because it's just that impactful of a performance. It's that crazy. As you'll hear, not only are the soloists flawless, the choir is equally as good. That oftentimes, not oftentimes, but sometimes, I'm going from my experience as a choral singer and as a former teacher, what you'll have when you have pieces with a soloist or soloists, multiple in a choir, sometimes the soloist is so good that the audience focuses on them and the choir is not as strong, right? You'll have the opposite. Sometimes, the soloist may not be to a level where you want it, but then the choir is really, really, really good. It's rare where the soloists and the choir at the same time are equally just excellent. Just as an audience member, sometimes, you'll get, caught up in the soloist. And I wouldn't blame the audience if their focus was just on the soloist. But the choir is just killing it back there. I mean, from a technical standpoint, like I said, we could spend an hour on it. The entrances, the dynamics, which I will talk about. Oh my goodness. The way they play with dynamics is crazy in this piece. The vowels, the way they're unified, the part independence. I mean, I could go on. Like I said, I want to focus more on how this made me feel, but it's very rare to have like your soloist is a 10 out of 10, but the choir is there as well. Like that right there was just remarkable. I'm going to keep going.
Lay me down and like a bridge.
Oh, my goodness. Ooh, I forgot about that part right there. Oh, let's back up. Let's look at the audience reaction right there. Look at that. You got people laughing. You got people putting their head down. Look at Miss Ellis getting into it. Oh, my goodness. What they did with the dynamics there. I had forgotten about that part because there's just so many good parts in here. Dynamics. Oh! And look how how the soloist gets into it. Look, that is so amazing. You just do not see that often. I cannot stress that to you. I struggled as a teacher. My students would be up there, and sometimes, they would sound great, but the best performances we had, I can remember, is when they would engage and get into it. And not everyone's gonna show that engagement the same way, right? You'll have some students that really get into it, right? You'll have some students that'll kind of stay pat, but there's a way you can show that engagement. There is a way you can show it in your own way. And just pay attention to the soloist and the students in the choir, how engaged they are. That is so powerful. That is so powerful. That run. Again, I've listened to this quite a bit. Just every time I listen to this is what it does to me. I completely understand the audience clapping there. Just incredible job right there. And we're just getting started. That's the crazy part. We are just getting started. Moving on. Again, I don't want this to be, an hour video. Up next comes the second soloist who sings John Legend's part. All three soloists are short of nothing spectacular. I mean, just killed it. I don't know what else to say. Having said that, I don't know if it's because of my experience in college or high school, but when you have that mezzo alto voice in a woman, and she can sing in her lower range, and she can project, that just does something for me. I don't know how to describe it. I think it had to do with my voice teacher in college. We would often joke because I was, one of those baritones that could barely sing below an A natural, and she could pretty much match my range in my voice lessons. But there is just something about an alto mezzo that can sing in her lower range. And this second soloist who sings John Legend solo, yeah, I mean, I was already weeping, during the first minute of this, but this really set me over the edge. I don't know what it is. It's like a warm blanket. I don't know how to describe it. When you just have that mezzo alto that can just sing in the bottom of the range and really project. Oh my goodness. So this second soloist, needless to say, just like the first soloist, does a fantastic job.
When you're down and out, when you're on the street, when evening falls so hard.
I cannot stress the details. Oh my god. Like it may seem subtle, but I mean they're in a room full of educators in this profession. The details of what they did there. Oh, just the phrasing is just, oh my god.
When you're on the street.
Again, engagement. I love it.
When evening falls
Vowels.
so hard, I will comfort you.
Woo! Man.
I'll take your part.
Sing.
Yes, when darkness comes, help is all around like a bridge.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try not to tear up. Woo, that part right there. Again, I want to give love to the choir. They are doing just as great a job as the soloists are. The phrasing there again. Look at them getting into it. Right here.
like a bridge.
The way they decayed off that like a bridge. Oh my goodness. And the soloist, when she sings this right here. Right here. I cried on that part. I'm not ashamed to admit it. That was oh my goodness. We're only 2 minutes into this video. just again, listen to that phrasing. I cannot stress it. I can't stress how incredible this is. It's just the level of difficulty, the amount of detail. I mean, they are milking every phrase. Every single second of this is just musically brilliant. Like, they're leaving no stone unturned. It's incredible. I'm just speechless. I just I don't know what to say. That again, choir just absolutely amazing. I brought this up earlier, but to have the choir and the soloists, to have them just at the same level of excellence, right? You can hear the choir, right? It doesn't overpower the soloist, right? But you hear enough of it. You know, sometimes you may hear a performance where you don't really hear the choir as much and its solo is dominated. There's a perfect balance of both. The range of the choir also. Oh my goodness. You'll hear this later on. I mean, those altos in that choir are singing. Oh my goodness. They are truly singing. Like, the range is just insane on both ends. You'll hear them very high at the end, but also the low notes. Just incredible. Again, I'm gonna keep going in the interest of time, but man. That high note on a ooh, that is stupid. What? That's not easy to sing a ooh on that high. Listen to that again. Woo! Again, phrasing is just top tier. Excellent conducting. That uva. That chord. I don't know why I started to speak softly. Oh, just listen to that. Listen.
Sail on, silver girl.
Reason why I'm pausing is the very first time. Okay, I heard this is Gabriela Marquez, I believe is her name. When I heard her sing "Sail On, Silver Girl," I knew it was about to be a problem in a good way. Now, if the past two soloists were an indication. Um, I assumed she was going to be great, but it's the details that I sound like a broken record. I love how she comes in and the control she has in her voice. Sail on, sail. She sings a straight tone, and then she knows when to just release and let that vibrato go. It's those subtleties that let me know, oh, she's about to eat down just like the other girls.
Sail on, silver girl.
That may seem like nothing to you, but I appreciate those subtleties. The choir coming in on that ooh, I can imagine the audience at this moment, that entire choir, they just had the audience eating out of the palm of their hands. I mean, because they had played with the dynamics all throughout, and then as you'll hear in a second, I mean, it's about to really get going. Just that ooh, the way they came in, um, coupled with the details and that soloist. Again, I don't know why. It's something. It may seem simple to you, but just the way. Just listen to it again. Sorry, I'm at a loss for words. And again, I've listened to this many times. Listen. Straight tone. Vibrato. Ah. Little mini meso de voce. Sail on by. Little crescendo day. I'm not even going to attempt to sing this. Oh my goodness. So many great things. And I talked about the engagement. All three soloists do a great job of the engagement. The choir does a really great job with the engagement. I like the way Gabriella kind of puts her own spin on it. It kind of reminds me of going to a musical theater performance and someone has a solo. So you'll see her kind of using her hands and she's almost like she's telling a story. And she really leans into it. This time I promise I'm gonna try not to stop. There's just so many good things about this performance.
Sail on, silver girl. Sail on by. Your time
She's telling the story.
has come to shine.
Dynamics.
All your dreams are on their way. See how they shine.
So they're building it up.
If you need a friend, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, yep. That was my favorite part. Oh my goodness. My favorite part. That was my favorite part of the entire performance. Whenever that chord hit on Sail, I remember I had to take off my headphones and I had to just do a lap around the house. I have never in my life heard a phrase turned that way. The setup and the delivery of that, I was not prepared. I just was not prepared. I was literally shook. I'm not joking. So let's back up. I want you to pay attention. And again, if you're a choral person, you're listening to this, I'm not really saying anything groundbreaking, right? They build up, and then they back off a little. And then they build up again, back off a little, and then they just bam, hit you in the face with that chord. The only analogy I can come up with is like taking my 1-year-old niece to the park, setting her on a swing, and kind of just playing around with it, going back, going forth, going back. Okay, we're gonna go a little more this time. And then woo, just letting her go. And again, apologies if that was a terrible analogy, but that's just kind of what they did right there in those couple of measures. Let's back up. That swing analogy is what I can think of. Let back up a little bit. Okay, so here we go.
All your dreams are on their way.
So starting right here
See how
on the word shine.
they
They're
shine.
playing. They're just toying with you here.
If you need a friend,
Here we go.
I'm sailing right.
Oh, okay. Woo, 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 woo. Two things right here. Number one, I'll say it again. I can only imagine what this was like in person. I mean, you're just getting hit constantly with just precise, unreal musical moments. Like this right here.
I'm sailing.
Just that right there, I need a second to process that, okay? I need a second to process that. Look what happens next. That's not enough time. Like, how dare you do that? I don't have time to process all of that. Like, I need a good minute to process. Let's go back. This right here.
I'm sailing right.
Like, I need time to process that. So, like again, just hearing this live, I don't know what it must have felt like. So you get hit with that. And then you get hit with this. That is, again, I don't blame the audience. What do I like about that? Again, I'm not going to go into the technicals too much. The choir is unreal. Again, the range is crazy on that.
I'm sailing.
It's just the character change of that chord, the way they were playing around with the dynamics, right? The crescendos, the decrescendo again, then the decrescendo, and then they just hit you with that. That right there, that's one thing to try to process. That chord on sail, oh my goodness, just phenomenal. And then the word right, the combination of, I assume, the choir is singing more modified raw, and then the soloist is more spread right, which is totally fine, which is acceptable. But the way the word right just locks in together between the soloist and the choir, it just rings. I don't know. I got to chill down my spine during that moment. Oh my goodness.
I'm sailing right.
Oh. Diction is unreal, if I didn't mention that already. Oh my goodness, that part never fails to get me either. This is the one moment where I wish the audience would just back off on this part right here. I get it, she just killed that run right there, but that chord on down, I mean, whoo, the range of that chord. So going back to what I talk about, not being able to process. So we're at the 5:36 minute mark here. So 40 seconds, between that span of 40 seconds, you just got hit with just like three just musically just unreal moments that I needed time to process. That's why, like, again, I can't imagine what it was like being in the audience, because I would need a minute or so just to process what I just heard the first time on sale. But for them to have that, and then the oh ho 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 like a bridge, and then lay me down, those three parts within a 40-second time period, oh my goodness, that wonderful arrangement, Jacob Collier, obviously. Excellent vowels. Engagement is incredible. Oh my goodness. Sorry, actually I still need some water. I can't. This does it every time. Oh my goodness. Just the hands out. You love to see that. You just love to see it. She's giving it her all, just like the choir. They are leaving nothing. They're leaving. Let me rephrase. They are giving their all. They are giving their all. Well, I can't use this. They're leaving nothing behind, right? They are pouring their hearts, their souls all into it. My goodness. They're just the dynamics, they're just toying around with you. They're just toying around with you. It's like they have a dial and they can just turn it up and down at their discretion. And that's hard to do when you're like trying to maintain a good tone as well. Like that's not always, I want to say it's hard, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. I mean, just from a technical standpoint, everything is just, man. Yeah, I'm just laughing at this point. I mean, yeah, just the runs were just unreal. Let me back off so you get the full context of that. Here we go. Crescendo. This was another moment I had to pause, take off my headphones, and do a lap. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these are high schoolers. That high note is a high E flat, a minor third above high C. And when I originally posted this video, I got comments from friends, and Miss Ellis was actually gracious enough to comment on that video and said, on that last part, this right here, it was 4 notes and they had 1 2 apart. Let me say that again. On that little high part, it was 4 notes, right? Those weren't the only notes sung. But so I imagine it was probably like E flat, maybe like C, B flat, A flat. I'm just guessing, but they basically had 4 descants and only 1 per part. And she jokingly said, we said a prayer before going on stage. That's tough to do if it was a professional choir, let alone a bunch of 16, 17, 18-year-olds. That's just, I don't know what to say. It's... Watch the vowel shape. Yeah. Um, could have waited to the last note. Nah, I get it. I get it though. I get it though. I'm just joking. Yeah. This is just again. I sound like a broken record. I can't imagine what it was like in person. Um, just look at the audience reaction. This is a room full of educators. Okay. And this went on for minutes on end, from what I was told. Um, oh my goodness, where do I? Yeah, that was just. I've listened to it 100 times, and the reaction. It's not really a reaction, but the reactions I showed on this video are genuine. Like I have to be careful listening to the song when I'm driving, so I don't get in a car accident. Uh, because it just every time I listen to it, like I said, it's like I'm listening to it for the first time. Um, just unreal. I don't know what to say. Um, actually, I do because this video's been pretty long now, but you get the point. Just incredible. I know this is an art school, right? And I know you have to audition to get in, right? I imagine if I had to guess, most of these students, probably audition in sixth grade, and maybe it's different down in Florida, Miami area, but I imagine the audition wasn't too rigorous, right? Maybe had to sing "My Country 'Tis of Thee" or "Happy Birthday" just to show, you had decent vocal ability. I don't imagine, you know, they were making sixth graders sight read, in 6/8, anything too crazy. So yes, it is important wanting to be there, but talent alone doesn't get you a performance like this. If you don't take away anything else from this video, I want to be clear. Um, you have to work extremely hard to get a performance like this. Um, yes, like I said, it's an art school, right? So quote unquote, you have the best and the brightest, but talent alone does not get you a performance like this. Not even close. Um, it's very, very obvious from this performance that Miss Ellis and her 24 students worked extremely hard. Extremely hard. I have no doubt about it. You don't put on a performance like this with just talent alone. It just doesn't happen. It takes so much time, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. Um, I want that to not be lost in this video. Yes, these ladies are extremely talented. The teaching is top notch. Um, every single person on that stage is extremely talented, but that alone doesn't get you anywhere close to a performance like this. You have to work for it. You have to absolutely 100% work for it. Um, so, if there's any naysayers saying, well, yeah, they're just, that's pretty easy. They're super talented, or it's an art school. What you expect? No. There are plenty of quote unquote art magnets, art school. They will never come close to a performance like this. Not that they're not capable, but it takes a level of dedication. It takes a level of vulnerability. I can almost assure you that, multiple times while they were rehearsing, there were many tough rehearsals, right? Because a lot of the intricate details, like I said, they left no stone unturned. So it takes a level of vulnerability, being able to mess up on a certain phrase, right? When you do that, crescendo, decrescendo, messo de voce, right? Doing the diminuendo at certain spots. There were probably times where they didn't get it, right? Um, all that while trying to maintain, uh, a good technique is, it's really difficult, right? And it takes a lot of work, right? That means giving your best when maybe you're not feeling well. Uh, to to put on a performance like this, it's nothing but hard work. It's nothing but hard work. I want that to be, um, I want that not to be lost. Like I said, just the amount of work that went into this, I can't imagine, right? You probably needed to take a nap for 3 days, not a nap, deep sleep for 3 days after this, because there was so much detail, and there was a lot I didn't say. Like, again, I didn't want to make this an hour-long video, but there were the detail was just mind-blowing. There was so much detail, and that takes hours and hours of practice. I imagine they meet 90 minutes every day, but that's not enough. If I had to guess, there was after-school rehearsals. There may have been before-school rehearsals. I'm pretty sure these students had to listen to this music and practice outside on their own. You just don't get a performance like this on talent alone. It takes hard work, and man, that hard work has paid off. Because I can guarantee you, every person in that audience will remember this performance for as long as they live. They will take this performance to the grave. This is a core memory for everyone in that room. Heck, it's a core memory for me. I'm going to listen to this, weekly. Every single person on that stage that performed, just know you have inspired so many people with your performance. You have changed the way we think about music education and what is truly possible. Hopefully a video like this can be shown to, higher ups, so to speak, admin in various counties across the state, to show them what, music education, what the possibilities are. But yeah, to all the members of Bellarmonía, again, I apologize if I didn't say that right. Just know you changed lives with this performance. Truly, truly inspiring. Miss Ellis as well, just unbelievable job. You'll never forget this performance for as long as you live. Being in choir is incredible. The life lessons that you learn are so impactful. I keep saying I'm just at a loss for words. It's just truly incredible. Regardless, for the 24 members in the group, regardless of what you want to do with your life after high school, or if you go to college, keep singing in some capacity. You all are extremely talented. Like I said, soloist and choir combined, just unreal. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking the past couple weeks ever since this performance came out, and I was just like, I have to make a video. Again, I don't know if I'll ever make another reaction video. My laptop's telling me that's enough. But yeah, this was by far one of the best performances I've ever seen. Obviously on my phone, i.e. laptop. We'll just say heard. Just unreal. I hope there's a recording that comes out so we can hear kind of those intricate chords without the audience clapping. But yeah, just wonderful job. Wonderful is not even the correct adjective to use. Just truly life-changing. I have felt an impact from this performance, and I live in North Carolina, right, from hundreds of miles away. Just, I've talked to friends that live friends in California, New York, all over. This performance has had an impact on a lot of us in the choral world. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing us what music education, what chorus, what the arts, what the potential is. With obviously support from admin and the community, but also what hard work can do. Because like I said, I sound like a broken record. The way a performance like this was achieved was through hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. Nothing more, nothing less. Of course, you need the talent. Of course, you need the healthy technique and good teaching, but they really worked for it, and I can truly just appreciate and admire that. So thank you for this. Yeah, just absolutely wonderful. I hope you all keep singing going forward, and I can't wait to see what you have in store in the future.